you will need an A4 piece of paper. I've already cut this one. You will need an A4 piece of paper, some scissors, one of these if you have, or you can just use the edge of the scissors, thread, and one needle. You don't actually need a whole set. To start, we want to create your strip of paper, and this is what you're going to make your starflower from. So on an A4 piece of paper, you want to follow the long edge and simply fold it over, lining up this edge with the bottom edge to get it straight, and holding it up there while you smooth it out. This is also what this is for. To make it extra crisp, you can use your scissors. Then we're going to cut along the seam. And there you have your strip, and you can make 4 from an A4 piece of paper. The paper itself is thicker than printer paper, but printer paper is perfectly fine if that's all you have. So the next step is to create folded triangles. We start by bearing in mind that this is going to be the corner of the triangle. We want an angle approximately like that. This first step follows the hexaflexagon method, as if you were making a hexaflexagon. And there are hexaflexagon templates online that you can print off, and the triangles are on the paper. So you might want to do that to practice. But after a while, you get to know the shape of the triangle that you want. So it's basically that shape. Once you've got one triangle, you're going to turn it over and then fold again. And the side becomes the bottom. So you line up that angled side with the edge of the paper. If you want to make it extra crisp, you can squish the edge. And keep going all the way along until you have 9 triangles. You don't have to count them, that's just how many you will have if they're the right size. And it's also how many minimum you will need. When you get to the end, do fold that last piece as well. And then you've got your triangles. The next step is to let them begin folding naturally, and you want to make a hexagon, so like that. So the next step is you want to get 3. All right. The goal is to get 3 like this. Now, it takes a bit of fiddling and testing, but basically once you've got 3 like this, one side but not the other will enable you to fold these down. And on the other side you won't be able to without breaking it. So if you can't see how to fold, just turn it over like this and see what you've got. Now you've also got these little flappy bits, and they can be really useful for completing your shape. If you don't need them or they're too big, you can cut them off, but don't do that before you've worked out how you're going to get your 3. Let me put it on my face for a second. Now I have a confession to make. The way that I discovered how to make these is because I was trying to make hexaflexagons, and then I got to this point and I hadn't done it quite right. I had my hexagon and I was just fiddling around trying to find the next step, and I discovered, I wanted to see what would happen, you know, if I folded them down, and it's like, oh, that's pretty, it's a flower. So the confession is, every single time I make one of these, they're slightly different. Sometimes there's little bits that poke out, sometimes it suddenly has 4 petals instead of 3, and so there are variations that can occur, so don't worry about that. They each can be unique. You can try and get them to absolute mathematical perfection if you want to, but that's definitely not how I do it, because it's not in my personality. So make a couple until it feels comfortable. So the next step, once you've got your 3, which is the goal of, so I don't know what step number we're up to, but you go from the hexagon to the 3, and then you fold. So that corner goes down to the point. That corner goes down to the point, and that corner also goes down to the point. So I've just folded them in at the back there. And you do kind of have to hold it in place with your hands. You can squeeze it a bit if you want to make it tighter. And it doesn't hold together unless you have some cotton thread. So the next step is to wrap around until you're satisfied that it's secure enough to hold. Again, there's not any particular science to this. Just do it in a way that you're happy with. And if you're not happy with it, make an adjustment. So I don't normally do this, but I have a loose thread that I'm going to tie in. I normally don't bother. So then you get your length. Make sure it's about an arm length long so that you can hang it in a tree. And cut your thread, and this is where the needle comes in. So thread your needle onto your thread that is already attached to your flower. And then pick which way upright you want it to hang. If you hang it like this, it's just going to well, come undone, or if you've tied it securely, it's just going to hang on its tummy or on its back. So that is why we use the needle and we poke it through one of the corners. So it could hang that way, it could hang that way, it could hang that way. And now it's doing what it's designed to do, which is catch the wind. I'm going to hang it now, put that needle away safely. Find a branch I can reach. Now, if you hang them too close together with a really long string, they're likely to get tangled. So that's something to bear in mind if you make several. And then we're done.